Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as the rule provides in the PFM Act, Article 39A, that we have to balance our expenditure and our revenues. Honorable Speaker, I want to talk as the chairman of budget, and I actually want to talk as an indifferent party, that whatever may happen on the bill, the Budget and Appropriations Committee is prepared, Honorable Speaker. But from the onset, we want to laud Kenyans for their voices. This country belongs to Kenyans, and when they express themselves, they are doing precisely what the Constitution provides. I also want to laud all the Kenyan leaders, including our side of government and the other side, Honorable Speaker, because we are all geared to the welfare of the Kenyan people. Honorable Speaker, I have since, and I want members to, if possible, they can have this in their mind as we debate. I have since received a letter and communication from the National Treasury addressed to the clerk of the National Assembly, but I am copied as the chairperson of budget. And Honorable Speaker, the Treasury is looking in all scenarios. Scenario number one, if the bill passes only with the amendments from the Finance Committee. Scenario number two is actually if the bill, the MPs in their wisdom decide that we shelve it. And Honorable Speaker, if the status quo remains, that we pass the bill as proposed by the Honorable Kimani Kuria and the committee, the appropriations bill passes as it is, Honorable Speaker, as we did last week. However, Honorable Speaker, it is important for members to note that in case there is a downfall in terms of the revenues by the proposed 200 billion that was to be raised in the finance bill, Honorable Speaker, then the government and the National Treasury and the Budget Committee is also prepared for that scenario. And I have communication, Honorable Speaker, from the National Treasury from the proposals. And I wish that I read some of them, that if the bill does not pass, Honorable Speaker, we'll be reducing the budget for the State House for 51 million, budget at the State Office of the President for 51 million, security organs, defense, for example, will be losing 7.75 billion, ongoing pivots in our constituencies will have to shelve that ambition by reducing by 800 million, Honorable Speaker. Higher Education Loans Board will be losing 3.2 billion. Honorable Speaker, the JSS teachers, 46,000 of them, Honorable Speaker, by letting this bill pass, will actually be giving jobs at the permanent and pensionable. And Honorable Speaker, if the wisdom of this House is to shelve that decision, then it means the JSS teachers, whom, Honorable Speaker, I would persuade this House that we confirm there will be no funding. NGCDF will be reducing by 15 billion shillings, which is 50 million per constituency, Honorable Speaker. The monies we appropriated for electricity, 50 million per constituency, Honorable Speaker, by again not giving the National Treasury the power for more revenue-raising measures, the 50 million per constituency will be disappearing today, Honorable Speaker. Coffee Cheriford will be cut 1 billion, Honorable Speaker, if there is no funding, Honorable Speaker, through the finance bill. Our last plea is this. This letter is public information. It can be shared to the members of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, my plea is this, as the chairman of budget, that if it's possible, the House Business Committee can actually bring the appropriations bill this afternoon. That the decision that we take in the finance bill, we can also cascade the same by appropriating the proposed cuts in the appropriation bill so that we can finish the entire business today, Honorable Speaker. However, Honorable Speaker, I am sure with the same energy that we are speaking either for or against, we will also explain to Kenyans, the JSS teachers, I am sure those who will be voting against their confirmation to PNP, we will also explain to them, Honorable Speaker. Those voting against increment in CDF will also be, Honorable Speaker, explaining to Kenyans about it. Those who will be voting against the increment, Honorable Speaker, of employing 20,000 more teachers will have an ample time to explain to the teachers of this country, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, The proposed cut in terms of roads is 15 billion. Those who will be voting against the increment of 15 billion to roads, I am sure they'll eloquently explain to Kenyans about it, also, Honorable Speaker.
A minute to finish. Order.
Honorable Speaker.
Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order. Give him 3 minutes and wind up.
Honorable Speaker, I want to be very objective. Honorable Speaker, these are the proposed cuts in case there is no revenue-raising measures as proposed by Honorable Kimani Kuria. Honorable Speaker, number one, as I said, I want to be very clear. State House has been cut money 500 million. Office of the President another 500 million. Security like defense is 7.75 billion cuts. Honorable Speaker, the same. We have already promised our JSS teachers that the 46,000 of them will be employed and on permanent and pensionable. Honorable Speaker, if we don't give the National Treasury the power for revenue-raising measures, it means the people will be voting against the confirmation of the 46,000 interns. Will have up to time to explain to them how they voted against them getting permanent jobs, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the reduction in NGCDF is 15 billion shillings. That is a small figure, Honorable Speaker, because I can see members are saying 50 million is not much. In Kiharo, it's a lot of money, Honorable Speaker, that every constituency will be cut 50 million shillings starting July, Honorable Speaker. GAF, we just added them 500 million. Honorable Speaker, the proposal is to reverse the 500 million and also to reduce further by an extra 1 billion, Honorable Speaker. The monies we appropriated for electricity, 50 million per constituency, Honorable Speaker. I hope those who will be voting against electrification in our villages will have time to explain to Kenyans why they are voting against electricity in our rural areas, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is a proposed reduction.
Order. Honorable Commissioner Mishi, I know you differently. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members on both sides of the House. Order. Order. Honorable members on both sides of the House. In the tradition of Parliament, if you approve of something, you thumb your feet. You don't wail and shout as if you are in a rally. This is not a rally. This is a House of Parliament. Ndindi, can you wind up?
Honorable Speaker, the other thing is that there is a proposed reduction of 1 billion shillings in livestock restocking. From our side, we believe those who lost their livestock deserve to be compensated. Those who will vote against 1 billion that is going to livestock restocking will explain to our pastoralist, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, also, the monies proposed for reduction for school feeding program is 1.8 billion. On our side, we believe the 1.8 billion is needed to feed the children of this country as they go to our schools, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the political parties, we can all agree in unison. We are proposing a cut of 900 million. I know that is not contentious. We can agree to cut it this afternoon, Honorable Speaker, because we are also prepared for it. Honorable Speaker, there is a proposed cut of 5.5 billion shillings for cash transfer. Our parents who registered last year deserve to get their cash transfer.
Order, time up. Bed Simba.
Abraham Kirwa, back to Parliament. We are glad to see you. Na karibu sana. Honorable Speaker, I'll be direct to the point. One is that when we have such a situation where we are listening to the State of the Nation address, Honorable Speaker, data should speak more than words. Honorable Speaker, I say so because when you want to invest in a company, for example, you want to invest in a bank, you look at their financial statements, knowing that the Nairobi Securities Exchange and regulators like CMA and the Central Bank of Kenya have done their bit, and therefore you do it knowing that the data you are reading is believable. Honorable Speaker, I say so because some of the data I saw presented last week, I don't know exactly whether it is the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics that is wrong, or it is the speech, and especially the people who made the speech who didn't have the correct data, Honorable Speaker. The first thing I want to cite is the exchange rate. We have been talking here in Parliament and especially giving a narration that we have made the exchange rate to climb down. Honorable Speaker, in the day of elections in Kenya, the exchange rate to the USD was 118 shillings. The exchange rate during the swearing day, Honorable Speaker, was 120 shillings. The exchange rate reached 159 actually in 2023 when we were still around, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, the exchange rate has actually depreciated by 8.5% from August of 2022, Honorable Speaker. And it is in an era where the USD itself globally has depreciated by 10%. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, there, I don't know which data is actually correct. The other issue, Honorable Speaker, is the performance of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The truth of the matter, and Honorable Speaker, it is usually said that when you have a lion, you just need to unleash it. You don't need to defend it. It defends itself. And that is how facts are, Honorable Speaker. You release them, they defend themselves. The Nairobi Securities Exchange, just like all the other stock exchanges in the world, they are not measured by market capitalization. They are measured by indices. And there are two indices in the NSE, Honorable Speaker. One is called the Nairobi Security or Share Index. The other one is called the 20 Share Index. Honorable Speaker, the highest you have seen, and I say so because in the speech, I saw that the Nairobi Securities Exchange is in its all-time high. Honorable Speaker, that is incorrect. The Nairobi Securities Exchange, even citing the last 5 years, Honorable Speaker, only, or even the last 10 years, its all-time high in the recent past was actually 2017. But the very much all-time high, Honorable Speaker, was actually around 2007. The Nairobi, the NASI, which is the OSHA Index, Honorable Speaker, the all-time high of NASI was actually in 2017, not as it was being given in the speech. And the Honorable Speaker, even the data on construction, if you read the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the construction sector in Kenya in the 2024 year, Honorable Speaker, it actually contracted by 2%. The consumption of cement was down by 7.9%. Consumption of steel was down at a level where we are doing housing projects. Honorable Speaker, I say so because for us to move forward, we have to be very deliberate and factual on where we are. And that is why, after all is said and done, data always speaks for itself. Because if you compare, Honorable Speaker, Kenya, compare the last 3 regimes for the first 3 years, the regime of President Mwai Kibaki, the regime of President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the current. The first 3 years, President Uhuru Kenyatta took the GDP of Kenya when it was $19 billion. In the first 3 years, it was $26 billion. It was up by over, I think, let me actually quote correctly, Honorable Speaker, it was up 36%. The first 3 years of President Uhuru Kenyatta, it was 21% growth in the GDP. The current situation, Honorable Speaker, the first 3 years, the economy has only grew by around 14%. If you grade using NEC, you times by 2, Kibaki gets 72%, President Uhuru Kenyatta gets 42%, President Kibaki gets 72%, Uhuru Kenyatta 42%, the current one is in 29%. You can use NEC to grade, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the other issue I want to cite is even the regional dominance of Kenya. In the year 2024, Honorable Speaker, Kenya was actually last in terms of growth in the region. Uganda grew by 6%. Tanzania. Can I modify for 1 minute?
Yes, you can. Yes, proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for addition of that 2 minutes. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, in the year 2024, Uganda grew by 6%, Tanzania by 6.1%, Honorable Speaker. Rwanda grew by over 8%, Kenya grew by 4.7%. Honorable Speaker, also as I said, facts are like lion, you release them, you don't defend them, they defend themselves. Honorable Speaker, as I come to the conclusion, I thought the President would actually talk about, or the speech would include the issue of debt. Kenya is currently borrowing 3.5 billion shillings every day, unprecedented. And besides that, we are borrowing also illegally in the name of securitization, in the name of Talanta board and the rest. I thought that is a monumental issue that would have been highlighted. But lastly, Honorable Speaker, I thought the speech would include the issue of education. The speech was read in a situation where, Honorable Speaker, our principals have received a circular to increase school fees for day scholars, Honorable Speaker, starting January. And I want to rally the members of this House. We must not sit here when the fees for day secondary school is being increased by government from next year. And Honorable Speaker, very lastly, I didn't hear the issue of confirmation of the JSS interns, who are 20,000 in number. Honorable Speaker, these JSS interns, our brothers and sisters, must be confirmed into permanent and pensionable terms immediately without delay. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
What's your point of order, Honorable? What's your point of order, Honorable Mohammed?
Madam Speaker, though he has already finished, the honorable member was on the floor. As a concerned Kenyan, he has just indicated that Kenya is borrowing some billions every single day. I would like him to tell me today, how did we borrow, which bank, which institution borrowed us? Because when you are speaking here, we need to tell wananchi the truth, not just lying. You know, that's a story that can burn a country. When you hear your country is borrowing every day, I beseech you to ask him to give me evidence as a Kenyan. How much have we borrowed today, from which institution, who signed, where is the money? Please make this clear to us as wananchi wants to know on their behalf as a Migori member of parliament.
Yes, you've made your point. Honorable Ndindi, I'll give you 1 minute.
Honorable Speaker, I don't know how to respond because it's hard to respond to such kind of an issue. Honorable Speaker, just advise the member that the data of Kenya is legally available even now in the Central Bank of Kenya. And it is difficult for me to do your job. Currently, as it is, Honorable Speaker, when this government came in, that is how it is, Honorable Member, the debt of Kenya was 8.7 trillion Kenya shillings. As we talk today, the debt of Kenya is over 12.5 trillion Kenya shillings. And therefore, we have borrowed over 3.5 trillion Kenya shillings in a span of less than 3 years. And therefore, if you divide that by the number of days, I have actually given a discount. We are borrowing more than 3.5 billion every single day, and that is unpalatable.
You have clarified.